You're listening to 8158 Stories of Sacrifice, where we honor the bravery of the first responders and the families who stand behind them. Real people, real stories, real heroes. This is 8158.
Welcome to another powerful episode of 8158 Stories of Sacrifice. Today, we dive into the world of fugitive apprehension with Deputy Chief Boyd, the owner of B.O.A.R. Fugitive Apprehension Division. With a background in law enforcement, private security, and now bail recovery, Boyd has dedicated his career to tracking down fugitives and ensuring justice is served. But his journey hasn't been without its challenges. After overcoming a serious health condition that forced him to leave his private security job, Boyd turned adversity into opportunity, launching his own bail recovery business. Now, with 20 employees under his leadership, he is working toward making B.O.A.R. the top bail recovery company in Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. In today's episode, we'll discuss the dangers of fugitive apprehension, the training required for the job, and the future of bail recovery. Plus, we'll hear some unforgettable stories from the field. Stay tuned for an insightful and adrenaline filled conversation with Deputy Chief Boyd.
How's it going there, Deputy Chief?
Going pretty good. How about you, sir?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Just another wonderful day.
I hear that. It is pretty out there.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice day out there right now.
Yes, sir.
Before I get started, I just kind of wanted to tell the audience about how you and I got connected.
Go ahead,
Just
sir.
kind of like by chance.
Yeah, it was a pretty good chance. Like I told you, it just, social media just out there. You just talking to people. You don't even know who you talking to sometimes.
Right, right. So basically, Deputy Chief had invited me to do a virtual ride along with the fugitive recovery, and I sat with him all day on that, and it's pretty interesting. So I invited him on the show, and here he is in the flesh, and I'm gonna give him a chance to tell his story and how he got started and why he does what he does, and I hope everybody enjoys the cast. So, with that being said, this is Deputy Chief Boyd, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Uh, you are very much welcome, very much welcome. Um, so let's get back into some background and in your experience.
Yes, sir.
You had a diverse career in law enforcement, private security, and now bail recovery. What inspired you to take this path?
It went to just looking at your parents, your family, friends, and as a kid, you're like playing cops and robbers and doing a little stuff like I'm a CI agent, watching 007 growing up as a kid. He's like, oh, I want to do that too. And as you grow up, you like, yeah, that's still what I want to do, but I'm not sure yet. You get that mental thing back behind your head, and you're like, yeah, still what I want to do. I ain't changed my mind yet. You hit 18, 19, and graduate high school, it's like, oh, what I'm really gonna do. So you either went to the military back when I was growing up, or you went to the law enforcement area, or you went to college. I mean, you only had 3, 4 options, or you went to work. I took the path of going into the law enforcement and went to college, got my criminal justice bachelor degree, and it was history after that. 4 years of being a deputy for a small precinct was something new. I learned a lot of different things in that area while I was there. And as I grew in ranked up. Of course, over time you do that. Um, my small growth to this was transporting, people to their destination. Either it was going to a different state or city, or they was going in to be a witness, and you will be like, well, be quiet, don't do nothing wrong, because you don't want any more new charges. I'll tell them. They most of the time they was real cooperative and quiet, but jumping on towards there, you go into guy had got sick, and that's really the toll why I left there. And they wasn't really caring about my medical condition at the time. So I, step my steps and went into the private security area, and I used the same tools towards that area, and just like using words instead of your firearm, or OC spray or taser or baton, stuff like that,
Hmm.
and it helps tremendously. Of if you can talk, if you can use your words, you can get away with a lot these days. You don't have to fight. You don't have to tase somebody to death. Cause life, before you know it, they're gone just like that. So, and then once I got into that stage, I went into to get into bail recovery. Bail recovery was just, it's like Wild Wild West out here still. Even dead or alive now. So that's how I went.
Yeah, I can imagine Wild Wild West. Probably worse than it was then. Back
Yeah,
then they didn't have as many gun laws, so everybody had guns. But
yeah. It wasn't official with all the different rules and regulations. Just like, you know, every state has their variables just by getting a gun license,
hmm
or if you can have a gun license, or what the difference from Georgia or Florida to open carry. Everybody cannot open carry. Lucky I'm in Georgia, we can open carry without
right,
having the license. So,
well, now do you use actual firearms, or do you use alternative measures,
so
tasers,
yeah,
rubber bullets, and stuff?
yes, sir. We use every tool that is available to us. We use OC spray. We do carry tasers. Uh, they're for us. A lot of us carry the taser post, which is not the best in the world, but it gets the job done. A lot of us carry the X26. That's used to be only law enforcement can get it, but now it's like it's open to the public. Long as you have the different cartridges, so it's law enforcement to civilians. Um, we also carry handcuffs. We also carry a baton as needed. Most times with our baton, it's mostly trying to break a window or get back. Just do a little nudge if they coming at you. For firearms, we do carry firearms. Um, for the ones that can't afford a firearm, I let them carry a burner or somewhere near that stage that shoots the powder ball or the rubber ball, uh, just like paintballs.
Hmm.
It's just like paintballs because law enforcement shoot paintballs these days.
Right,
Uh,
with the pepper spray balls or
yeah,
whatever.
the pepper spray balls.
Hmm.
It's crazy. Like you didn't see no law enforcement using these different mechanisms. As I was a kid growing up, a lot of them just had a gun. That's all they had.
Hmm.
Gun. They barely had taser or body cams
Right.
or dash cam that was in their car. So a lot of them get away with a lot of different things over the time frame. Now you better have that body cam on, and you better have that dash cam on. But as
Hmm.
soon as they get in the car, crank the car, it comes on automatically. And as they respond to something, that camera is feeding. That body cam is the same way. As soon as they come out, they poster or they firearm, that thing is recording. And that's the same thing that we use too for our company. That goes to my private security. to my barrel recovery. As soon as they come out their holster, that thing is recording right then.
Right. It's always
So
good to have that protection
yeah,
because you know it keeps
that way they
people
can't.
honest.
Yeah, that way they can't say we harmed them in a certain way.
Right. It keeps people honest. Even if they
Yeah.
try to lie, they'll keep them honest.
Yes, sir.
So, what was your biggest lesson you learned during your time in the sheriff's department and the private security that prepared you for bail recovery?
Listening. If you can't listen, you can't follow. If you can't follow, you can't lead. And I took those keys to each and every area that I worked for to become the owner and the operator that I am now.
Right. Yeah, you got to be able to listen and follow before you can lead.
Yes, sir.
That's where you learn. You learn from your leaders.
Yes, sir. And I had a lot of good leaders,
Yes.
even on the duty and off duty. And I'm still learning.
Oh,
So,
yeah. And you transitioned from private security to owning your own business after facing a serious health condition.
yes,
Can
sir.
you share what that journey was like for you?
Um, the thing that I noticed when I got older a little bit, it's a medical condition called rhabdomyosis. Thing about the rhabdomyosis is it's like your body shuts down in a certain way. You feel this pain. Just it could be like a small pain, but you would think it's nothing. It'll go away a couple of days. Take some Tylenol, ibuprofen, something like that. Just hydrate a little bit, but then it goes through your whole body. It keeps. It's like you weak. You can't drink, eat, nothing. Um, it's a hard thing to see. If you never did sports and got dehydrated, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you play sports or even after sports, you was in law enforcement or you was a firefighter, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot of people that go through this life and experience what I'm talking about to that case of getting right with Moses. So if you don't, you got to stay hydrated, vitamins, drink a lot of electrolytes through your life after that. You have to keep a balanced diet after this. If you don't, you'll be in and out of the hospital like I was getting used to. I was in and out of the hospital every month, every month. And it took a toll on me. And trying to build that confidence back up towards I wouldn't be back in the hospital every Friday, every Monday, every Tuesday. Because I was out of work for um, 3 to 6 months just trying to get back to 100%. And I would have like little hiccups going to the hospital like weekly, just trying to keep fluids going through my body. So because it shuts down your heart, it will shut down your kidneys, and once you lose your kidneys and heart, you gotta go through a lot to even be on transplant to even see if you have the means to even get organs, and that's a big deal because a lot of organs are not available.
yeah,
First come, first serve, now who they think deserves those organs.
yeah. It's crazy. I play sports myself. I was in football and I was
Yeah.
in amateur boxing for about 9 years, and
Okay.
so I know what it's like to kind of overdo it. Plus, I was in construction for a while, and I myself got heat exhaustion,
Yeah. Heat is off.
and that was pretty bad. That was bad enough in itself. I couldn't even imagine what you're going through right now.
Yeah. But like this, you can't even pick up your own weight if you need it, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's definitely a huge challenge to overcome, but you're doing it, man. You're kind of pushing forward. You're doing what you got to do to kind of get yourself better.
Yes, sir.
You're still in recovery, or you're still battling with that, or
Yes, sir. Still face it every day. Just making sure to maintain it.
okay.
They said it would go away, but you never know when it might pop back up. So
Yeah,
I
we don't
had to,
want that.
yeah, I had to keep a check on it.
Right.
But
That's good.
it's been pretty good last couple years. I haven't had no hiccups.
That's pretty good. It's good to hear, man.
Yes, sir.
So now moving on in bail recovery and your challenges. For those unfamiliar with exactly agent, what do they do? How does it differ from law enforcement?
The difference from law enforcement to bail recovery, we are on a different statutes, rules and regulations that we can actually do as bail recovery agent towards the bondsmen, which we actually consider as the bondsmen. Uh, we don't have to do, long as we have that person on our case log saying they are the actual fugitive that done what they did, wherever they go to, any household, yes, we have to call it in and let them know going into a third party. But most of the time, we don't have to. If we're 100% that we know that the future is inside the household, we can kick it in. We even the person that signs it between them and the co-signer, we can kick it in. You know, throw a slant check,
Wow.
whatever we want to do. But to the contracts on who we have the cases with, they want us to be 100% before we kick in doors sometimes. But different companies sometimes do not care. And a lot of them is like, hey, just tell them come to the office and we'll just take them in, do a reset on their bond and reset their case and get them back in court. A lot of them don't even want to show up. It might be just because they missed court with an FTA. Um, it's always just the big stuff they go to court for, but the small stuff they miss, which don't make sense. You rather go to court for the big cases towards the small cases. I never
Right.
understood it. I still don't understand that. But they have a million reasons why they didn't make court. A million. And sometimes they can call. Just make a phone, one little phone call and say, I can't make it up there. I'm in a hospital. Or car problems. Something. Call. They don't call. So then the next day, that judge put out a bench warrant for you. We gotta come get you because we on the hook for a lot of money. It could be $5 to $100,000. We're on the hook for that. The company is the bail recovery ain't, but the bail bondsman of that company is because that's a lot
Yeah.
of money. And the judge gave you freedom. He gave you this freedom to be able to be out and gave you bail. They take advantage of that, but they don't realize it. Little stuff. All you have to do is make a call. You can't make that
Simple
call.
phone call there. Yeah.
Simple phone call. Most times, it's a simple phone call will fix a lot of these issues.
So what kind of training does someone need to do what you do?
Well, for Georgia, you have to take an 8 hour class, which certificate towards the bondsmith and the bail recovery agent takes the same class together. It's 8 hours, $250 after that. Then you have to take that class every year, which the price don't change. You just get it on the same certificate, 8 hours every year when it comes time for your class to come up. It's 8 to 9 hours. So once you take that class, you're done. Now it's up to you. Are you going to be a self contractor, or are you going to work for a company? Most time the company will pay for your class, but if you're a self contractor like me, everything's going to come out of your pocket. Once you take that class, like I said, or if you went towards the contract or towards the being you want to work for a company, you're done with that. But now you got to do the applications through the sheriff's department that you will be doing bail recovery for. That is the other part. That could be $50 to $100. But I know for the different areas that I do, Cobb is one, Fulton County is one, the DeKalb County is one. Their prices is different. It could be $99 to $100 plus fee. But if
Hmm.
you do it in a money order, they can't charge that fee. And once you do that paperwork, it takes about 2 weeks, 3 months, 4 months. But if going to the new year, hopefully you did their application before then. If not, you're gonna be on a waiting list until they got you their application process. That can
Right.
take 2 months, 3 weeks, 6 months. I know to the Fulton County area that we just did, we gotta wait 3 weeks towards a month. The reason why, because a lot of people just did a re process fees for the new year. So we're waiting right now. Hopefully towards the new contract we just got in Fulton County, because I'm ready to rock and roll on that one.
Down boogie, yeah.
Yes, sir. Um, Make sure you got your high school diploma, college credits, social security card, birth certificate, passport, if needed. Make sure you have your driver license. Make sure you don't have nothing on your record that's going to hold you back. Of Georgia has different rules, so hopefully you have a good, squeaky, clean record that you become a Beverly Curve agent.
Mhm. So basically, it's just like becoming a deputy or some kind of law enforcement. You pretty much got to have everything's got to be on board,
Yes, sir.
on point.
You gotta be on point and make sure you have everything. Um, the other thing, it's just like like law enforcement. The other thing you gotta have on there, different county states in the Georgia area want different things. A list of references. It might be six. It might be 12, 13, 20. So make sure you know somebody gonna answer that phone, or make sure they're not all relatives. Make sure they friends, families, people in the community that will speak highly good about you if they call these people. Uh, Another thing is if you have to put your spouse on there, because half the time you can't arrest your spouse.
Right.
So that's got to go on there. If you divorced, they want to know about that. Um, Most time they want to know if you got a family. They want to know about your driving history.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of different variables can maybe stop you, or it may not stop you towards being a bill cover agent, the bondsman.
Hmm. Well, it's kind of good to know that they want the best to do this job because you just don't want just anybody kind of you know
Well,
kicking in doors.
yeah, I mean, we got good and bad apples in all industry. It's just up to that person to a whole, to that certain high level of you want to be a bad apple or a good apple these days.
Right. So you've built a team of 20 employees. Well, what are the biggest challenges of running a bail recovery company?
Making sure everybody is able to afford the gear or the classes. A lot of them can't afford the stuff that we have to have according towards the. It could be uniform or gear, just a thing of handcuffs. I know they got them $20 to $100 just for handcuffs.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes I have to buy a good bit of them for the $30 handcuffs. As long as they keep them oil and grease, they'll last pretty good time. But sometimes we lose them. But I hope they don't lose them because there's money I lost.
Right.
A handcuff key. I lost a handcuff key. It took me 6 years to find it.
Oh, jeez.
I found it 2 months ago after I bought a new one. After I bought a new, I mean, I had other handcuffs, but I had other handcuff keys, but it was this particular ass key that I lost, and I said I just found it. I was mad because I said, man, well at least I have it, because that key was particular for the ass keys.
Hmm.
So you know, the simplest things between having gear, uh, insurance, contracts, making sure everybody's able to work, um, can spend a big keeper of making sure everybody go home to their loved ones, make sure everybody's safe, according. Because I want to go home the same way I came out. I'm pretty sure they want to go home at the end of the night. So just make
Absolutely.
sure safety is the big thing.
Right.
I can sometimes care less about certain other things, but the safety is my biggest. Insurance would be my next.
Right. So since your employees have to provide their own gear, how does that impact the job, and what kind of equipment is essential for this line of work specifically?
Specifically, um, they'll say you can have a belt, a regular belt, but sometimes a regular belt doesn't hold up the gear that you will put on your belt. So I would tell every person make sure you have a good, sturdy, durable duty belt. That plays a big part in your gear, especially when you going in and out the holsters or doing whatever. You can buy a cheap duty belt sometimes, and it will last a long time until it starts tearing. Buy a cheap one. If you can't afford it, buy a cheap one because you spending $50 to $100 on a nice duty belt. $200, like Safari Line or 511 or Alien or those big people. You can get third party. Go to third party. Sometimes that's the best stuff you can buy, especially when you can't afford it. Uh, the main things you need to have, like I said, is a duty belt. Uh, Make sure you have proper holsters that can hold everything on your duty belt towards your vest area. Make sure you have 2 to 3 magazines for your duty weapon, taser, 2 pairs of handcuffs, chain and hinge is the biggest keeper you want to have on you. And if you need more than that, I tell everybody to have like if you got 5 sets of handcuffs, got more than enough sometimes because you're gonna have a partner with you most of the time. You know they got about 5 pair of handcuffs if they have it. Make sure you have some good belt if you go to catch the person, especially if they're good running. You know a lot of people like to run.
Hmm.
Um, Make sure you got shackles, more than one. I carry 10 pair of shackles. Reason why I like doing roundups. I like walking in the sheriff's pen with 10 people if I can. It's just a statement like, hey, I caught 10 people today. I'm gonna be in this lobby for a while, but I caught 10 people. How many you caught today? But after that, just make sure you have a nice vest. It ain't gotta be the best. If you gotta carry plates, carry them. Eventually, you can upgrade to some safe light defense or what's the other ones like NEDAR, Ace Link, soft armor, some type of soft armor, lifestyle, soft armor. Uh, Man, there's so many different companies out there. You can name them all day, but it's what you can afford at the end of the day. Um, Handcuff key,
Hmm.
uh, baton if you need it. A lot of people don't want to carry batons in this field, but I use it every now and then if I gotta break a door or break a window. All the time I broke windows because um, the person was literally right there and he wouldn't open the door, so I broke the window and went in. Um, that's part of the goal, I guess, breaking the door. Broken window instead of breaking your door, so just put a piece of board up, I'll say. You better get a Home Depot card,
Hmm.
Lowe's card. You better, if not, can't go to Ace. You can go to Ace too. They got doors.
They got to it.
Yeah, they got payments too. Um, but different people, different people like to carry different stuff. I would say that. A lot of people just want to have a gun and a taser and OC spray and some
Hmm.
cuffs and a vest. That's it. Sometimes it's just the simple stuff that you need to get through. But just having a gun and a vest and some handcuffs, you need some type of defense because you don't want to kill everybody that
Right.
you
That's not the point.
apprehend. For us, you gotta have a taser. If you don't have a taser, you at least gotta have OC spray. Um, and don't lose the handcuff key. But I think that would be it on what I think. Make sure you got a body cam, which we supply through the company. We have we put those out for the people that work for us. We all have body cams,
Okay.
mics, and stuff like that.
So, from my understanding, is some of your people actually need gear,
Yeah.
and uh, so how could people donate? How did they get a hold of you so that they can donate? Because I know your
Um.
people need the gear, and it's important for them, like vests and duty belts and all that stuff.
Yeah. The best way to get in touch with me, you can contact me on my email. It is investigatorboyd7 at gmail.com. If not, you are open to go to my TikTok page. It is Deputy Chief SRT slash FTO slash SRT. And I am active, very active on that page too.
Okay. So that's for anybody who wishes to help them out and donate. If you have any extra gear or anything that you're not using, if you have any old gear, please contact him and donate so that his people can be safe and so that they can do their fugitive apprehension and go home safely.
Yes, sir. We also will be giving out T-shirts to each person that donates. It's not a lot, but it's just something from the company that we can give back to the people that did donate. We also will be making little credits towards the people that donate towards the T-shirt. So every time I make a video or something, it will show each name that donated to the company.
All right. So, I mean, what about money? Would you accept cash money or anything like that if that applied, like to go towards your equipment?
Yes, sir. I haven't set nothing up like that, but I'm open to that. Um, just want to make sure it goes to that. So please contact me to make sure that we can set up a way that can be accepted properly.
Hmm.
Because money just stir the pot some people. So
Yeah.
just want to make sure it's properly donated to the right cause. So
Right.
please don't donate to the wrong person. Make sure you did speak to me personally.
Right.
Um, don't want nobody to get scammed.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. That is important because there's a lot of scammers out there, and
Yeah.
we ward people off from being scammed because it's happened to us before. I'm sure
Oh
it's
yeah.
happened to a lot of people, and it
It's happened
sucks.
to me. Yeah, it's personally happened to me before. Somebody, as they stole everything, like I told you before. My wallet, my other wallet with other stuff was in there, so they got my identity. Good.
Mm, that's not good.
Yeah, I have a lot of things frozen just because of that happened a couple years back.
Hmm. Yeah, that happened to me. I bought a product online. I got the product, and they kept like taking 70. It was like anywhere from $70 to $80 a month out of my account, and I'm like, what?
I didn't make that
So
charge.
yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I started looking back, and I'm like, I bought this for $20, but they're charging me $70 a month for the last 5 months. I'm like, this ain't right.
Yeah, yeah.
And there,
It's
and
like
it wasn't like like a debited thing. It was like they were just using my number to read. recharge
regenerated, recharge
everything.
it every time. Yeah. That's why
Nope.
I when I order stuff, I like to use my third party banks and use my actual bank account.
Right.
I try to use, but even when you ordering stuff, sometimes they wouldn't even take the third party accounts. So that's when you have no choice but to use your actual bank account information.
Right. All right. So moving on, do you have any memorable stories you'd like to share? Maybe a high risk stakes, fugitive apprehension, or a moment that really stuck out with you?
Um, I had this 18-year-old kid that had $100,000 bond. He was 18 years old, had 12 felonies and 5 misdemeanors. And I'm talking about you can name everything in a book and he did it. I mean, from felony not to have a firearm. He had 5 charges of those, three to four
Jeez.
different, three to different four cases of carry, if it's marijuana or crystal meth, some type of big concussion of drugs, um, battery, assault on an officer, which we say Leo. Um, I mean, I don't even understand how he made bail, but they granted him bail. I would have kept him in.
Right.
Uh, his mom bailed him out. They had to put property. And all I'm saying, they must have a lot of property when they made this bond.
They must have.
So, but different counties are big about, you know, making bond if it's property, house, clatter, cars, motorcycles, whatever it is. But it has to measure up to what that price is. Because they say we only get our 10%, but you got $100,000 bond, and I catch you. That's I can charge 10. It's 10%, but that percentage goes up if you want to charge the bail. How much you charging the bail company? I can charge that. That could be $12,000 just for that one person you catch it.
Hmm.
Some people don't even make that in a week or 2 weeks.
Right.
It takes them a month, maybe 2 3 months to even make that. For a small bond, I can charge $300, $400, or $600. It just depends how I am with that contract.
Right. So it can be kind of like up and down as far as lucrative.
I mean, it's pretty lucrative. It's just at the end of the day, you're paying. You got to pay your people. You got to pay your insurance. You got to pay license every year. You got to pay for lights. You got to pay for water. You got to pay the rent towards the building you're at. I mean, it's shrinking. It's shrinking.
Yeah.
Uh, but back to the story. I mean, he rent from us. A couple. He got away for a few of our people. I'm the one that really brought him in that day. He was in an attic at a third party's house, cooped up. They said he wasn't there. I went to his mom, searched her house, wasn't there. Went to the grandma's house, wasn't there. He was actually at his auntie house. And I said, I'm coming in. She said, No, you're not. I said, Yes, I am. I said, oh, he's here. I know he's here. She said, How you know he's here? I said, I have heat vision goggles. Can see, search the heat. He's in your attic right now. As soon as I said that, her face just dropped. So I said, I can press charges against you. She said, No, you can't. I said, I will. But the only reason I'm not doing it because you got kids and you're a single mom. So I told him, I said, either you coming down or I did a white threat saying you was gonna be going to jail and the kids would be with the auntie no more. Somebody was going to come get the kids.
Hmm.
He eventually came down, but as soon as he came down, he tried to fight us.
Okay.
Uh, that didn't go well. He hit me, hit two of the other people that was with me, and as soon as we got him down, we handcuffed him. Uh, I put the I went I did sometimes I like to put the handcuffs in the front, but for this particular one, his handcuffs was behind him. He had hinges because he was a smaller person. He's like 5'8", but he was just frail. So he had to have the hinges. I want to make sure he wasn't going nowhere. Put
Right.
shackles on him. I put the belt on him. I ran the chain up. He wasn't going nowhere. I had been like he was going to the prison, which he ended up going to prison because of the charges he had. Uh, he was sat there for a couple of days before his trial, and I haven't heard any update towards it. But I think the last update they gave me that he pleaded guilty to a lot of charges. All the charges he got. He still got 10 years in prison, which is
10
not a
years.
lot. That's not a lot for all the
Yeah, for
charges.
those
He had
charges.
12 felonies, 5 misdemeanors. I said that didn't make sense to me. But he can go parole in 6. So 6 years, he's out. I'm not the judge. I'm gonna say that. I'm not the
Yeah,
judge. I'm not the jury, but he's out in 6 years.
probably good. I'm not a judge because
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't take kindly to certain things. I mean,
yeah. You kill somebody or child molesters or whatever. They say, oh, you do 15, you do 8.
mm,
Good behavior, you be out in 5 years.
right.
That does not make sense to me at all. But like I said, I'm not the judge. I'm not the jury. I'm just the person that's doing the job to get them back to court.
Yeah, kind of line with that. Um, the guy that had killed my cousin, he
Yeah.
was in court for drugs, methamphetamines, and gun possession,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow the judge let him off.
Wow.
And the guy went back to doing the same thing over and
Like
over again, and he had a warrant for child support.
child support. Yeah.
And the officers were actually watching somebody else that he was with,
Mm-hmm.
and they had pulled him over. The detective pulled him over and called for backup. Two younger deputies that showed up and apprehended the person they were looking for and were extracting the other driver who had a warrant for child support. And lo and behold, he had another firearm. And when they called for backup, when they were struggling with him, my cousin showed up. And 10 seconds later, my cousin was gone because he fired a shot. Uh, Unfortunately, I mean, the guy got away. He ran as they were assisting my cousin and took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
But Michigan State, the SWAT team, and the sheriffs from all surrounding counties were following, and they had eyes in the sky, and they found him.
Yeah.
Let's just say that guy wasn't walking out of there. They pulled him out in the body bag.
Well, I mean, he did harm a life, take a life. Most of the time, they're not going out the same way they came in, especially if they running like that.
Hmm.
Um, Most time we don't want to take lives in nothing we do in law enforcement towards the bill coverage. But
Right,
you only have a split hair to think about them or me.
right,
And at the end of the day, we don't want to take lives. But it's a judgment call.
right,
Uh, you get a lot of people get a lot of PSD because if they was in the military or law enforcement or whatever, they got a lot of PSD from whatever traumatic, is in their head. Uh, it takes a toll. Mental health is one of the biggest things that gets people these days.
right,
Uh, take care of yourself, take care of your body, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Take care of yourself. Because if you don't, something might happen to you. You might do something to somebody. Um, just be careful.
Hmm.
Watch your surroundings and everywhere you go. Just going grocery shopping, watch your surroundings.
Right.
Make sure you're training, male or female. Make sure you're training yourself. I don't care what you are. If you're old enough to carry a gun, you make sure you take the training and be aware of your surroundings.
Hmm.
It's a big keeper in a lot of things we do. Even with my kids, with all these threats, these school shootings and stuff like that, it was so bad. I mean, we're good in the city we are in. I'm able to make sure they're good because a lot of law enforcement people, I know them. They don't play. We don't play when our kids go to school. They got a lot of officers, school research officers on that property at all times, even with K9 unit. A lot of people do not have the privilege we have in the school system to protect the kids because they only have one officer there taking care of a bunch of kids.
Right.
Uh, I think they should up it. You should have 5 to 10 and K9 on that premises. I understand money and costs. I understand all that and the
Right.
different principles of what you can afford. But and able to do that, and they want to do it for free, let them do it.
Like on the side or something, or
Yeah.
when they're off duty.
When they're off duty, they can help. There's a lot of off duty officers or people that do like executive protection or private security. They can do this. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will do it for free. And it might be people that just want a little income from it. Just a little bit. Or a lot. If you're going for it, like I said.
Right.
But that's my advice. That's just my opinion at the end of the day.
No, I think there should be more protection at schools, especially with children and
Yeah.
kids. I think children should be taught properly how to handle weapons. If your
If,
parents and you have weapons in your home, you should teach your
hmm
children how to properly handle weapons and let them know that these aren't toys. You can't just take them anywhere. You can't use them. I mean, because when I was young, I was in a foster home, and my foster dad was a police officer,
Yeah.
and he taught me about his weapons and how to clean them and how to use them properly. And he basically said, you don't point these at people unless you intend to hurt them. You
hmm
don't use them as toys. They're not toys.
Yeah. They are instruments. How our dads are first, they were telling you these are weapons. These can kill people, take people's
Right.
life. They will say, if you're not ready, if you point this at somebody, you better ready to pull the trigger,
Right.
and you better be 100 when you pull that trigger. As you putting 2 to 4 pounds of weight to that trigger, it's gone.
Right.
Uh, I,
Intentionally or accidentally.
yeah, I was the same way. My dad teach me how to. I was hunting, fishing, cleaning guns. At 2 to 5, because back in those days, that's what we did.
Hmm.
Now, I mean, my kids are saying they don't touch a gun unless I'm there. My oldest, he'll go out in the woods hunting and fishing or he's taking his BB gun or whatever. It's not like it used to be back in the day.
Right.
Now you got to worry about your kid harming themselves or somebody next to them
Right.
because he accidental discharges. So you need to put your guns up in a safe.
Yep. They need to be put in a safe place, locked away.
Yes, sir.
So, with your future goals and industry insight, do you have big goals for B.O.A.R in the next 5 to 10 years, including working with the U.S. Marshals? What's your version of the future for your company?
The version for the future of our company, I hope to be able to work in Alabama, Tennessee, Florida area for our companies, um, growing in different counties and cities of the country. Um, Another thing, going into like the U.S. Marshals. just getting that phone call saying, "Hey, you want to the big leagues? You want to come assist us because we heard good things about you. We've been watching you. We've been looking at your footage over the years. We would like your team to come assist us because we're in your state or city." Um, it'll be a dream come true, just being on that type of league, training, getting on private jets and helicopters to go on and do different task services with them. Um, it's just like watching the movies, let's say. But I know it won't be just like the movies, but it was just like, this is really happening. 5 to 10 years from now, man.
It'd be a dream come
When,
true for you.
yeah, it'll be a dream come true. I don't even know what to say at that time frame. All I can say, I'm just gonna hope and pray that everybody's still with us at the time. The team has grown more. Um, I'll be older around that time, but hopefully still going, still pushing.
Okay. That's pretty much how you see the bail recovery industry evolving
Yeah,
in the coming years.
it's gonna evolve. It's gonna get different. It's gonna be more tools that we can use down the line. One thing I wish we can do if we see the fugitive driving, I wish we had the powers to turn our lights on to pull that person over. I wish we
Oh,
had. I wish we had that. That that'd pull a big thing. It's a lot of different variables on doing it because of safety. I know, but it'll be a different thing to use if we could do that.
right. So if you see your suspect driving along in a vehicle,
Hmm.
pull them over by turning on the lights, and they would automatically assume that you're a police officer, and they would pull
Yeah,
over.
yeah, because most of the time law enforcement is the only ones can run lights on highways, but it's not the only people can run lights because if you are a private security or whatever, they can run lights according towards the licenses that they have to have for even doing funerals and stuff like that. They're transporting somebody to somewhere home or to an event or something. I think it should be a way that bear covered agents, bounty hunters, can do that too in a certain matter. Uh, don't want them to confuse us as law enforcement because we got a lot of people that dress up as a officer or some type of in the industry of law enforcement in general.
Hmm.
Um, that is scary because a lot of people do it, and I
Right.
understand the reason why they probably wouldn't allow us to do it, but in a smart way that we can present us as what we do, it'd be
Gotcha.
like that.
So also we talked about, or you'd mentioned something about that you are attending some kind of FBI training in Tennessee soon. What do you
Yeah.
hope to gain out from that experience?
I'm still getting more details on it. One of my Beverly Credit friends that he was on the video with us. Still trying to wait on more details. He's getting more details on it. We're hoping for to get a lot of knowledge and learn some new stuff from that. We're was told that the FBI will be hosting that event because doing bear recovery. Like I said, I'm still getting more details on it. I don't want to speak too much on it,
Hmm.
but I'm hoping to just get a different case law, that different training, because training is the biggest thing in the industry we do. I love knowledge. I love learning new stuff.
Right. So trying to get a different type of insight on how to maybe go about finding
Finding people.
fugitives,
Yeah,
or kind of different tactics, stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. They use a lot of different tactics than we use. And it's a lot of different ways we use. We have to get contracts through different uh, third party um, research we use. and important what they use.
Right.
Well, we use drones too, just like they use drones. But their drones might work a little different than what we have that equipped to our drones.
Right. They got endless coffers of money to
Yeah.
invest in all that stuff.
it might be a drone outside my window right now. I wouldn't even know it. That's how
Yeah.
quiet it is.
They're like listening in.
Shh, I didn't say
Yeah.
that.
Right. So, in your personal life and motivation, which with this being such a high risk job, how do you balance your work life between your family life?
And like my kids love what I do for a living. From the law enforcement to the executive protection to the private security to the bell curve stuff. They're used to it. And they see daddy put on their uniform, or if I'm just being a plain Jane but still have the same stuff on, they are, did you get them? That's the only thing they want to know. Did I get them today? And
Yeah.
sometimes the answer is no. And they like, when can we watch the footage? When can we watch the video? When? Sometimes they don't even want to eat. They want to watch that. I'm like, give me a second, or you can watch the rough footage.
Right.
Um, Sometimes I like had to skip over something because I don't want them to see something because I haven't
Right.
get the editing yet. Um, my wife, she loves it too. She does the bill recovery part too, but she tours out management. Sometimes she goes out every now and then.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's a family business, so I'm pretty sure my kids gonna say, hey, I'm gonna go do some bail recovery too.
Yeah.
Um, we make pretty good time. Like today, I'm off. When we get done with this, we supposed to be watching movies, just cleaning the house, pop some popcorn, and go watch some movies tonight. Might just
Great.
be it might be the stuff that I gotta edit. They want to watch. It be like
Right.
that sometimes. Like all the different people on YouTube or Bear Recovery or the Barnes Tourist area, they want to watch my stuff sometimes. But we don't want to watch their stuff today. We want to watch your stuff.
Yeah, we want to
We
watch
only
Daddy.
watch this stuff. Yeah, we don't watch daddy. We want to watch daddy and uncle stuff. That's what they
Yeah.
love. They want to watch daddy and uncle kicking some doors or throw some handcuffs on people. I
Right.
said, okay, let me see what I can do. Give me a few seconds. If not, we watching everybody else that's on YouTube. And I tell you another person I want to meet. Um, got a good old Tank bounty hunter in Ohio up there, and I want to meet good old people in Texas, good old people in North Dakota, Florida, Tennessee. It's a lot of people in the industry you want to meet one day or see one day. I'm just hoping as I grow, I'm able to do that one day.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, we do the networking in the Atlanta area, Georgia area. We pretty much know each other, but it's different when you get to meet people from other states
Right.
and not the states that is not able to have bail
Right.
bonds. Yeah,
Like Kentucky.
yeah, like Kentucky. You're not the only state though.
Yeah, that's wild. I didn't even know that for a while because Brienne was talking about that. She's like, she looked it up. She goes, "You can't do that here in Kentucky."
Nope. It's like we was talking about the pit maneuvers. Only state police can do the pit maneuvers.
Yep.
And I'm like, I know that takes a toll on a lot of officers. Man, all I gotta do is nudge them over.
Right.
All we
I
gotta do
got
is
him right
get
here.
up in their car and that's all we gotta do. No. And then sometimes it takes a long time for you the state police to get out there to y'all if they doing most time in pursuit.
Right.
Uh, I love watching those TV shows though. And they say, oh, the state police gotta come and assist them. Or
Right.
the troopers gotta come and do the same thing. Because even in Georgia, we had a we had GSP, which is the state troopers for us. We had a safety uh, officers, we say most time they just worry about DOT, which is transit towards the people that run in the big halls and U-Hauls and all that stuff. That's the only thing that most time they looking at. But I have seen public safety do a pit maneuver before, even though they probably wasn't supposed to. But most time they're doing pit maneuvers too.
Like, I'm
Uh,
gonna stop you.
yeah, if they have to, they'll. I mean, most of them, all the polices in Georgia are doing pit maneuvers because it's just because they can,
Right, right,
which is crazy. Like I think if you're a law enforcement and you're on duty, and all you got to do is do a pit maneuver to stop this pursuit, they should be able to.
yeah,
Because you can a pursuit can last an hour to 10 hours, depending on how long that person is running. When you
right,
can stop this in 34 minutes, that can kill a lot of the harming other people on the roadway.
right.
But like I said, I can't tell what everybody do in their different states.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
just my opinion.
There's nothing wrong with having your opinion. I mean, a lot of us would agree with you on that. I mean, certain things that can't do some places, but I mean, unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
Yep.
I mean, but what keeps you motivated on your toughest days? What keeps you going?
The tougher days is making sure every person that we're able to arrest to put back behind the bars because they did something very illegal to harm somebody or hurt somebody or some type of way, or they just doing what they're doing to hurt the public. Putting them back in helps the public so they don't do nothing to harm us. Um, it's just what I think on that.
Okay. Now, for anyone listening uh, who might want to get involved in this field, what advice would you give them?
Make sure this is what you really want to do. Do some research. See if it's able you can do a ride along with a company or someone. Make sure you have the means to complete everything that needs to be done to according towards that city or state that you want to do bill curbing. Make sure you have things in place when you go to take. Make sure you have insurance. Uh, Make sure you have the training. Make sure you have every document you need to start, and make sure you got money to the side to do the different areas that you're gonna be working in towards the sheriff's department. Because the money, if you don't have the money, you might want to save up some money, $5,000 or $10,000 or $1,000, or because most times you use your own vehicle in this industry. Make sure you have the money. If you got to put gas in your car, make sure you keep that up. Make sure you keep the maintenance up on your vehicles. Tires, oil change, fluids, brakes. Uh, Make sure you got a little bit of good tint on your car because you want to make sure that person don't know you're there. Especially if you're doing some investigation, you're just trying to get insight. You don't want them to know you're inside the car looking at them. Make sure you have the instruments, listening devices, binoculars, heat ones, day and night can record in 4K. It helps. Uh, Body cameras, uh, small earless. Make sure you also have our company also have radios. I forgot about the radios. Right now we are with Motorola. That's the company we use right now for the time period. We would love to go to Echo 911 on a later date. Um, it's a lot of different things I'll tell you to get ready to pay for. Because the company that you work for may not help you with none of these things.
Right.
just make sure just make sure you're ready to start dishing out a lot of money, especially if you don't have the gear.
Right. It's not
So
cheap, obviously.
it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. My brother just spent $1,000 on vests. Uh, he didn't just get one vest. He got the threat vest. He got the threat Molly vest. He got a concealed vest, and he got the tack belt from Safe Flight Defense,
Hmm.
and some other things he got in there. It was one of those package deals.
Okay.
It was $1,000. He got it all for $8.99 at that time, which is a lot of stuff for $8.99. So
That's not bad.
no, it was a good deal. I told him he got a good deal. I tell him, I say, well, you got to get tan and green because as our part of our colors. He said, I know I got all black. I said, I know, but something about that green and tan, it's
Mhm.
pretty. It's looking all pretty with that new fresh colors on till you get dirty.
Get dirty.
Till you get it dirty and you gotta start washing it. I gotta wash my stuff now.
Right.
That's a that takes a lot of work taking that soft armor out. But lucky it's broke in. It ain't like the other people got brand new soft armor. You gotta break that stuff in.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Imagine. Now with your radio comms, do you have to pay for services for that or?
we do. Uh if the say we had a bad month, we can't afford none of the bills. Let's just say that hypothetically. I
Hmm.
pay it out of my own pocket. The insurance, the uh continuing educations that people need through the company, the $250, the $100 that you got to pay through the sheriff's department. I pay that out of my pocket. The service fee that you tell them for the radio, it's like they $70 per radio. Um, that's a lot of money. I'll say it is a
Yeah.
lot of money. It does add up.
I
it,
imagine.
it adds up real fast. Every
Takes
day,
a lot of money out of your pocket too.
yeah. Uh, that's why I gotta put those people back in jail because it's the only way I make my money.
Right.
That way I can put money into the household or to the company. If I'm not making the money, I can't feed the people that work for me. That's why I'm so big about finding the contracts with different bail companies or to the private security because we all work in those areas together. If we're not busy doing the bail cover, they can at least go do the security part.
Right.
So we try to stay busy on both areas.
Sweet.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's all we have for today. Um, it was definitely interesting going on that virtual ride along with you. I had a pretty good time. I know
Yes,
it,
sir.
you know,
Got to get you
it,
out here in real life, though.
yeah, that would be fun.
One day.
If I could take the time off of work, maybe one of
Yeah,
these
I
days.
know you got to take time off and stuff like that. Later down the future, no, you ain't got to be today or tomorrow, 6 months. And you got to
Yeah,
be next year. But, one day soon,
yeah,
it'll be an
definitely,
honor to get you down here.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yes,
Because
sir.
I'm doing like you. I'm doing this podcast. I'm doing this out of my own pocket.
Yes,
So
sir.
I don't get paid to do this. That's why I work full time, and I do this on the side to honor my cousin and to honor first responders and anybody who has anything to do with uh, getting the bad people off the streets or saving lives or
Yes, sir.
military personnel and that stuff like that. So,
Yes, sir.
but it was great to have you on the show. I really appreciate that. Uh, I'm glad you made it. It was an honor to meet you,
You too,
and
sir.
I'm sure we'll be in touch. If you have
Yes,
any
we
more
will.
ride alongs, just hit me up.
I will. I will let you know on the next ride along you can do with me.
Yeah.
I'll do. We'll do. Because I also go live on TikTok every day as a live, not right now. Um, I'll set up a different phone that you can just be personally. We can be A and B only, and you can see more.
Okay.
So we can do that one day.
That would be
That's
fantastic.
Yeah. What I'm on right now, I had put another one on the line, so you can be A and B right now, like we're doing right now.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yes, sir.
Get an in-depth look on that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. All right, man. I'm gonna let you get back to your beautiful family and tell your wife we said hello from 8158, and I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day and enjoy that popcorn and them movies tonight.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Tell your wife we said hello too.
All right.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful night, and I'll be in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Good
Take
night.
care.
You too.
Thank you for joining us on 8158 Stories of Sacrifice. Every story we share is a tribute to the courage and resilience of first responders and their families. If this episode impacted, encouraged, or inspired you, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who supports first responders. Follow us on all social media platforms at 8158 Podcast for updates. 8158 Stories of Sacrifice is a team effort. Rico brings the stories to life through casting, writing, original music, and editing. Brianne Shipley as production manager, handling booking, social media, graphics, promotion, marketing, website management, and logo design. Please visit our website at 8158podcast.com. For questions, collaborations, or to share your story, our email address is contactus@8158podcast.com. Until next time, let's continue to honor the legacies and remember the sacrifices of those who serve, every brave man and woman on the front lines, protecting and defending us all. This is Rico signing off and honoring 8158.